everybody. Welcome back to Holly Randall Unfiltered. My guest today is one of the fastest rising girl performers in the industry. In just 7 months, she's gone from her Valentine's Day debut to working with some of the biggest names in adult. A proud lesbian who only works with women, she's built a reputation for authenticity, passion, and incredible on-screen chemistry. We'll talk about how she got started, what she's learned so far, and where she wants to go from here. Please welcome Ophelia Fae.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. It's crazy that I'm here right now.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm very excited to have you here.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say, I know like we know each other, but I love your name.
Thank you.
I love the name Ophelia. It's not one that I've heard like every name in the porn industry, but Ophelia is a name that is not common.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. Like, what inspired you to pick that name?
So I originally, like when I was just getting started, was looking at some like alternative modeling things that for those, you're supposed to have a different stage name sort of too. And they like those to be a little bit more out there. So I was going to be Fleur for that. And then I knew like the whole alliteration thing was a thing. But then when the time came around for me to get started here, my agent was like, you need a more namey name. And I knew that I wanted to stick with some sort of F sound. Knew too many Fionas. Phoebe didn't feel quite right. So yeah, went with Ophelia.
No, I love it. I love it. So let's talk about who you were, what you were doing before you started in the industry, and what led you to decide to be a part of our wonderful world.
Yes. So I have always been an artist, and I've always been really passionate about sexuality, like to a point where my interest in like sex and attraction and sex work even like predated me having an actual libido of my own. My mom was talking to me earlier today about how she remembered when I was really young being like, women should be able to do whatever they want as long as they like doing it. Why should anyone police it? Just like going on this tirade. I do not have any hormones in my body yet to have any sort of drive. So I always was kind of pulled in that direction, but I knew that it wasn't the thing that you're supposed to traditionally aspire to. So I kind of repressed it down while like consuming all the media and all the things and majoring in sexuality studies and all of that. But I did... went through college, got my associates, got my bachelor's, did 6 years in corporate, and kind of had the cliche adult industry horror story with my corporate path where I got started right when I turned 18. It escalated way faster than what I was prepared for, but the money was good. So I stuck with it until they like treated me poorly, kicked me to the curb over and over again. So I was laid off by my last corporate job the Tuesday after Thanksgiving at 9 p.m. And so yeah, it doesn't mean that it's any more of a stable career just because it's salaried.
That's what's so funny and makes me so crazy. And I know that you've had issues with this, as almost every sex worker has, is that banks, credit card companies, insurance, like I've been denied credit, I've been denied insurance because sex work, high risk industries. But like you just said, like I have found that actually sex work people who work in sex work generally have a more stable income than people who work salary jobs.
Yeah, because like now I can make do where before I would have to just troll LinkedIn. And like maybe do like some sort of minimum wage job, but then you don't have time to troll LinkedIn. So I was trolling LinkedIn and the fires happened and I lived like pretty close to one of the areas that was affected by it. So I stayed with my parents for a while and was kind of just having my like mid-20s crisis. What have I done with my life? I've wasted my youth in this environment that I hate. And I got the idea just as a side hustle to sell some of the art modeling collabs that I've done with photographers on on the Playboy app, because that was the one that like I felt like you could get away with while still working in marketing or sales.
Yeah.
And so I started doing that, and I started my new Instagram account for that and posting reels on there. And then pretty early on, someone that was working with X-Suite actually found me. And I was familiar with you because you were one of the sources of media that I voraciously consumed because I was so interested in this industry. And I knew like, holy crap, there's not going to be a better opportunity than this. I also knew that that would involve me attending a red carpet on February 11th. As you alluded to, I didn't even shoot anything until the 14th. So I was going to be known for being an adult before I even started being an adult. So it was way too good of an opportunity and way too visible of one to be subtle about. So basically, I got word of that party on the 8th, spent a couple of days just like really thinking on like, is this how I'm going to spend the next 30 plus years of my life? And I decided yes. And I wrote a 4-page thing to my parents, sent it over to them, nuked my personal Instagram down to like 200 people, put a message on there. Here's why I don't have a profile picture anymore and my account's private. If you don't like it, you can unfollow. And yeah, I just fully sent it from the beginning.
Wow. So this is actually kind of remarkable because most people jump into porn. They don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't tell you how many girls I've talked to who think that they can like skate by and people won't find out.
Yeah.
They'll come on this podcast and they'll be like, oh yeah, like my parents don't know. And I'll be like, girl, they're going to know now. And you'll be like, no, they won't know. And I'll be like, yeah, they will.
Yeah.
And then after this podcast, they'll call me. They'll be like, yeah, my parents saw your podcast and they found out. I'm like, I told you that they would find out. It's not that I think everybody watches it, but someone's going to watch. It's going to tell somebody else. It's going to tell somebody else. It's going to get back to them. But you like really took the initiative and before you even did your first scene, you like told your parents. So how did they take it?
They took it astoundingly well. I sent the initial email to them at a friend's house because I knew if I called them, then I would be flustered and then it would sound like a less educated decision than it was. But she had been my friend since we were babies. Our parents were roommates in college. And so she knew, obviously, me really well, loves me, and also knows my mom really well. And we were like, okay, eventually she's going to have merch that says, I love my porn star daughter. It's a matter of when in the timeline we get to that point.
I feel like this merch needs to be made and we need to start a business with this. And I mean, I can give someone buy the URL, Ernie buy the URL now.
My mom can be the figure behind it. I'm an artist. Let's go. But yeah, so we knew that was going to be where things initially were, just a matter of how long it took. My mom calls me right after and she's like, I'm not mad. Like there was like the initial surprise, but she wasn't on a deep level surprised because she was like, I always knew that you were like meant to work in something sex related. Like that always made the most sense. I didn't necessarily think it was going to be literal sex work, but like it checks out. The one thing was that they wanted to make sure I wasn't doing straight for pay because at the end of the day, they want me to do what I'm passionate about and what makes me happy. And having sex with men would do neither of those things.
That's so funny. I just want to make sure that you're not doing men and you're only doing women.
Yeah, because they knew that would be a bad path for me, like from a mental health perspective. If I was into guys, I don't think that would even be an issue. But yeah, I think were a little nervous in the beginning, but like I sent them media to like get an understanding of it. And because I have between a lot of luck and also my own merits, had some pretty cool milestones pretty early on. I think that's also made them like, they knew that it was good for me. And then I'm showing like, oh yeah, like this is where I'm meant to be. But yeah, they want me to be happy. They want me to do something that I care about. And they know that this is what that is.
I love that one of the reels that you have pinned to your Instagram page is one about, it's kind of a clapback to the people who, that comment that we see so frequently, which is your father should be ashamed of you. And it's a letter from your father saying how proud he is of you, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So that was my very first response that I got from my dad about getting in the industry. So again, from the jump, no processing time. He was in jury duty when I sent it. So my mom let me know that that's why he was going dark. But from the moment he got out of jury duty, that was his immediate reaction. That degree of support and that understanding that like, no, this is something that I take seriously and that I want to make an impact with. And yeah, that's all that they ever wanted me to do. And so I like knew that I had that message from him. And obviously I was touched. Like once the initial like overwhelm of emotion passed, I had the thought of like, I am waiting for the day that I get a fatherless behavior comment.
And has it come?
Yes, it came. I got that. I got the like, oh, your dad must be proud. Yeah. And yes, he is. And there's empirical proof of it on my Instagram.
That's when you know you've made it.
Yeah. Which also it's a silly thing because I'm a 25-year-old grown adult woman. So like it doesn't matter what my parents think and why is it always my dad and not my mom?
I was just going to say that. Yeah. It's always the dad.
Yeah. It's always the dad. It's never the mom. And also I'm not a child.
Yeah.
So I could not be more deeply grateful that my parents are supportive, but also if someone's parents aren't, that doesn't mean it's a bad decision for them. Yeah. That like, that's why they're in it.
Yeah.
That could be totally unrelated.
I do find though, like from all the people I've spoken to, I feel like the ones that have the best experience in adult and have like a really good balance in terms of like mental health are the ones that have support from their families. Yeah. It's really hard, I think, when people have families that like turn their backs on them because they get in the industry. And I've seen that happen and it's really heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why like I want to share the love with people. Like I've just been so busy with work that it's been a few months since I've been able to see my parents, but like I want them to get to know all my porn friends. Like they loved taking strays for Thanksgiving and stuff way before I was in a field where you were likely to have a lot more strays around the holidays. So I was like, good news for you. You're probably gonna get some more of those.
Yeah.
Because they are so lovely and they are like so open and accepting, like not just of me, but just anyone in the industry that if I have this great support system, who am I to hog it all?
Yeah. No, I love that. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about your first ever scene, which was filmed on Valentine's Day, which is a pretty memorable day.
Yes.
So we are back. Okay, so Ophelia, your first ever porn scene was filmed on Valentine's Day. Was that just a coincidence or did you plan that?
That was just a coincidence. That was booked for me. I got the thing February 14th from my agent. And I was like, this must be a good omen. Like out of all the days to get started, that felt like a good sign.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a great scene. It was with Amber Moore. She's bi, and I'm super grateful that my first scene was with a fellow queer lady. And yeah, the set was super professional. Everyone was super friendly. I had great chemistry with her. It was a great time overall, and it felt really natural right away.
What brand was it for?
It was for Koji Girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so what were you expecting going on to set, or did you not know what to expect? And was there anything that was surprising to you?
So I kind of knew what to expect because I had watched so many podcasts and read so many articles and everything beforehand when it came to the fact that, oh no, this is a professional environment and it's not going to be some scary exploitative thing because I'm with someone who's booking me in an official capacity. So I didn't have any misconceptions about that. And I always felt confident about myself as a performer. I wouldn't have made the leap if I didn't have that confidence, but I thought I would be more nervous my first time.
Oh, really?
I felt really comfortable really quickly. And I didn't know how much I would like the camera. Because I realized that for me, there is an exhibitionism element to it, but for me, it's more about it being a project. So like the higher production value something is, the more I get off on the camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, like, did you have a hard time, like, having sex and being aware of the camera? Because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes girls get lost in the sex and they forget that they actually have to perform. And what we say is open up to the camera.
Yeah.
Did you struggle with that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if I looked back at it now, I would have areas that I'd want to improve. But I think having a modeling background and then also having a hypermobility disorder also helps, because a lot of the like open up for the camera positions are not that weird for me, because like I can go into a full split and not really feel it. So opening my hips extra wide and a partial straddle isn't anything that crazy for me. The one thing I had to learn is to not dive in all the way immediately when I'm going down on a girl. That like I have to do like the long tongue distance thing for a bit. But usually directors let me do my thing fully by the time that we're really getting into it. But you at least got to get that initial shot.
Now, you mentioned your hypermobility.
Yeah.
And you are very athletic. You were a competitive swimmer, or I mean, water polo.
Yes,
I know
water
that.
polo
Water
was the
polo.
serious one, yeah.
And you love yoga and you're insanely flexible. So do you feel like this athletic background has helped you as a performer? And do you ever, I mean, I have found that directors, when they find a girl is super flexible, they're like, every position must be insane.
Yeah.
Like, do you run into that? And is it sometimes like kind of annoying?
I don't mind it. I think it's fun because, again, it's not a strain on my body, really.
Right.
But I definitely think that it helps to be athletic in one capacity or another. That's one of the things that I really love about it, is that there have been times in my life where I wanted to be a professional athlete and times where I wanted to be a professional artist. And now I kind of get to be both. But yeah, with my Slade scene, for example, when we were going over the kind of yes and no's, that's always when I let the directors know, like, also I'm wildly flexible. And he was like, okay, good to know. And I like mentioned in passing, I can put both of my feet behind my head. And KGB was the director. And he's like, okay, so we're going to do that.
Yeah. That's like a gold mine for us. We're like, ding.
And so yeah, definitely like, it's something unique that I can bring to the table. So I love any opportunity to do that.
So tell us a little bit about your Slade scene, because that only just came out recently.
Yes.
And I know that's something that we've really been waiting to come out, because you shot it a little while ago and it looked so great.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about it, who it was with, what it looked like, the experience, all that.
So it was one of my earlier scenes. So I was nervous that it would still hold up, which I feel like it does. But it was with Ashley Alexander. And it was kind of spy themed. So sort of James Bond vibes. I had this like gold leather Madonna type cone boob bikini for my pretty girls. But the whole premise was, we just did whatever heist and there was the glass dildo in there. So time to go fuck, which, very fun, very cute little porn logic. But I love the glam thing. I love the cinematic thing. I think that as a feminine woman who's into feminine women, it's just like the height of everything that I want to do. I'm going to get as dolled up as possible and be with a girl that's also that way. And we're going to have amazing, crazy, freaky sex with beautiful camera work and just have a great time. So it was magical. Everyone on that set was so lovely. I'm so happy I got to go in their pool because I'm a fish. And anytime to get in the water, I will take it. And that pool is stunning. Could not have asked for a better, hopefully first of many times with Slade.
Was there any dialogue in that scene, or was it all just like cinematic getting into it?
It was all the like cinematic getting into it thing.
Okay.
Which I also learned from that when I was making my own independent content. Now that I have a creative partner, Salida Cierto, that I work with pretty consistently for my independent projects, we kind of use that as an example of, like you can use the looks to tell the story and sometimes add in a script, sometimes add in just some establishing shots, but to give sort of a context. I like to make the outfits match with the sex. Yeah.
But you also, you enjoy doing the acting though as well too, because actually, I think I forgot to tell you, and I didn't send it to you, but Quasar sent me a clip of you doing the beginning of your scene with Lana.
Yeah.
And he was like, she's great in this. And you were.
Thank you.
Like, you were very authentic. I was like, dude, she's a great actress, because I hadn't seen you do that before.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it was kind of a natural role for me to go into. I was the lead in my 5th grade musical, if that counts for anything. That's kind of the extent of my acting background. But yeah, I had such a great time filming that. I've done a few projects of my own that have scripts. I would love to do a feature, whether that's as a supporting character, one day as the lead, once I'm ready for that. Yeah, I want to do everything and anything.
And then you also just had a shoot come out with Playboy.
Yes. That was a big pinch me moment. It was also the first thing that I could share with my parents that they fully understood, because they don't watch porn. So, which I mean is nice now.
Yeah,
especially
you don't want them to accidentally come across you.
Yeah. But so whenever I would have these other big milestones, it would be like, oh yeah, I just had this happen. I'm so excited. This is what this means. And they were still thrilled for me, of course, but they know what Playboy is.
Yeah.
Like Playboy is so iconic and it's so mainstream that was the first thing where I was able to share. They were like, oh shit, she's doing Playboy.
Yeah.
So that was really fun too. And everyone that I've met has been so lovely. Like I sound like a broken record, but every person on set that I've worked with has been so great. It's like everything that I love about creatives, but without the pretentiousness that comes with a lot of creative fields that aren't adult.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the great things about adult. And to sound like a broken record, I've said this so many times, is that I love, what keeps me in porn is really the people. And I think that exactly what you said, there's a real lack of pretentiousness in our industry. And I think there's something about, first of all, being like the black sheep of the entertainment industry. There's a kind of us against them mentality because we are stigmatized so much, but also the vulnerability of doing what you do.
Yeah.
When you take all your clothes off and you show like everything to the world, it's kind of like, what else have you got to hide? And I think that translates into the personality as well. And I have found that porn stars are some of the most like authentic and down-to-earth people. When I was shooting for Playboy a lot, I would shoot fashion models for them sometimes. I would shoot Playboy Playmates for them. And I would shoot porn stars. And by far, I preferred shooting porn stars. I would sometimes, and not always, but sometimes like the fashion models and like the Playboy Playmates were like, they were, let's just say they were different.
Yeah.
They were different to work with. And I was just like, wow, I really prefer porn stars. And like, and I've also, oh my God, I shot a reality show celebrity once for Playboy. Jesus Christ, it was the worst experience.
Oh no.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was like, no. Porn stars only, please. Please. My God, I do not want to shoot celebrities. Yeah, no, they're great people.
Yeah.
Really are. So many people talk about a learning curve when they start. Was there any particular lesson or piece of advice from these first few months in the industry that you would want to pass along to anybody else who's considering getting into porn?
Yeah, I think that especially when you're getting started, like a lot of times the things that look for new girls, they want to do things that are maybe pushing on the edges of their boundaries. And I think that it's not in the way that it used to be where it's like, oh, you got to do this thing. It's more of a like, oh my God, it'd be so great if you did this thing. But if you're young or just getting started, you might think that you need to do that, even though no one's explicitly asking you. So what I've found has been really helpful for me when I've been in those situations is just to know what unique thing that I can bring to the table. So, and it's never just a no, it's a no but. So like I'm not doing boy girl, but I bring it for girl girl. Or like I'm not doing insert whatever thing here, but I have a modeling background. Like that sort of thing. So I think even if you're not directly saying the but to directors, producers, whoever, just knowing it in the back of your head. So you have a reason to have some extra confidence behind your boundaries.
You don't do this thing, but you bring value anyways.
Yeah.
Even though you don't. Yeah. I think it's also hard too because a lot of girls do get into the industry young. You were 24 when you got in, right? Because you're just turned 25.
Yeah.
And also you worked a corporate job, like you said. Like you worked in the real world. You had a real job and you went to college and you did all the things that I think helped you learn about life and, you know, live. And I think sometimes when you just come into it straight out of school, it's hard to establish boundaries. I mean, it's hard to establish boundaries anyways.
I mean, also like even outside of the sex work aspect to it, if you're going straight from high school to being a CEO, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And like, that's a big part of it too. Like besides, like for me personally, I would not have been good to start at 18, also because I thought I was straight, but I wasn't ready to run a media company at 18. So I think that that's another part of it too, where we all focus on the sex part of it, but it's like, no, are you ready to be a business owner at your age? And some people probably are, but I know in my case, I wouldn't have been.
So elaborate on that, because I think what you're suggesting is that being a porn star is more than just having sex with people? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, actually, the majority of my days is spent doing admin work, getting various things queued up, setting appointments, delegating like certain tasks off to people, like the same sort of planning and thought process as any other entrepreneur you're doing with your porn, because everyone, regardless of whether you shoot studio or not, your main income is probably your fan sites. And you're the one that's in charge of how those get run. And I remember even a while back, I was talking to one of my friends and he's getting started with a tech startup. And we were having a conversation about sort of our long-term plans. And for me, it was different milestones that I wanted to pace out in a certain way or have them go however I'm hoping they do eventually. And he had the same sort of thing with investors that we were meeting with. And when we were having this conversation, we were like, we're talking about the exact same thing right now. It's just that you're talking about apartments and I'm talking about my pussy.
Yeah.
But like fully the same exact conversation and difficulties that anyone runs into. So I think that's the biggest thing that I think probably gets thrown under the radar for girls when they're starting out. It's like, are you ready to build a brand that is going to last decades?
Yeah, because you're right. I mean, I think what a lot of people don't realize is you are an independent contractor and you are your own boss. And especially with fan sites and a lot of people making their income off of it, like you said, that is entirely up to you as to how that goes. And you have to market yourself and it is harder now than it was before. And it's hard to get that traction. And, you know, you have to be consistent and you have to, I mean, I can't tell you how many girls come into the industry and don't realize like they have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just stuff like that. And it also drives me crazy that they don't teach you this shit in school.
Yeah, they really should.
Like they really should. Like why don't we teach finance in fucking high school?
Yeah.
Why don't we teach people about like balancing your checkbook, paying your taxes, like, you know, IRAs, like retirement.
Yeah.
No, let's teach them home ec.
Yeah.
Wood shop.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, those are still more practical than a lot.
Yeah, I know, but yes.
That would definitely have gotten me a lot farther than the pre-calculus that I was too dyslexic to accomplish.
Yeah. I mean, I remember my little sister, she got a credit card right out of high school, completely ran up the debt. She didn't realize that she had to pay it off. She thought it was just free money.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's just, I mean, don't get me started on the education system in this country. That's a whole other rant. Okay. So let's talk about your sexuality.
Yes.
So you identify as a lesbian and work exclusively in girl content. When did you know that you only liked women? And was it hard to come to that conclusion?
I've joked about this with my friends before. The classic thing is like gay guys. It's always like, oh, I knew when I was 3 years old. Every girl, at least in my generation especially, 2 decades and a boyfriend. Like it's the classic thing. Because I could wax philosophical for a really long time about the way that women are expected to act with men in a patriarchy, blah, blah, blah. But the long story short is there are a lot of social things that just make you assume that every woman feels this way, or that certain red flags don't mean that you're not into men. But when I was really young, I probably what would have been considered out. Like I remember crushes that I had on girls when I was like 3. But I moved to a suburb when I was in middle school. That was a less accepting area. It was like still California. So it was like, okay, like more liberal, but it was like the gay boys got to hang out with the popular girls. But like if you were a girl that liked girls, that was really weird and gross and icky. So I think that I like actively went into the closet at 11 and then successfully convinced myself that I was straight by around 13, 14. And I had no one else fooled. But I had myself fooled until like once I was in college, I started opening myself up more to experimenting with women. Of course, men were the experiment in hindsight. But I realized like, okay, yeah, this is a lot more fun. And then I tried to date a guy and it did not work out. And that made me realize like, oh, something's very wrong here. Like on like a fundamental soul level. I realized that some of the things that I was experiencing during sex with men were probably not what should be happening either. Right. Like I was like, damn, if I just like hooked up with a few of my guy friends who were like better, more attentive dudes, it probably could have saved me so much trouble. Because like if my like eyes were tight shut or I was staring at the wall the whole time and I was just making noises, they probably would have been like, what's up? What's going on here, Ophelia? But yeah, I think kind of the more experiences that I had with women and the more that I tried to really make it work with a man, just that contrast, because we were open at the time too, that contrast just got more and more clear.
Did you feel like maybe it was like normal for you not to enjoy sex with a man?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No one hates on men more than straight women. like I don't know where people got the man-hating lesbian thing, because straight women are so like straight women hate men way more.
Yeah. Yep.
And like that, that was a big part of it. Like the way that like I thought, oh yeah, it's normal to be dry when you see a dick, because straight women talk about how dicks are gross, but then I find out, oh wait, no, they actually do like them.
Yeah.
What? No one told me this. Like, I think that, yeah, the purity culture thing is a big part of it. Because
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that if like I was in an environment where straight women were able to be more unapologetic about what they liked, then I would have realized, oh, that's pretty different than what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I mean, I think that comes down to the fact that women are not taught to communicate what they like, and that they're just supposed to please men.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they don't like sex because they don't tell guys what they like.
Yeah.
And men, how can they read minds?
Yeah.
And so we don't talk to each other. And so nobody knows what the other person likes.
Yeah.
It's just a vicious cycle.
Yeah. And I think that I also, because I am naturally expressive with my sexuality, and I think that my sexuality and spirituality are pretty tied together, there was a part of myself that I did want to give to the world. But when I was younger, I didn't understand that didn't mean that I wanted to sleep with all of those people. I was like mistaking my desire to like share this thing that I have as attraction. And it wasn't. So yeah, no, I was meant for those people to enjoy watching me on camera. having sex with people I'm actually into.
That makes sense. Oh my God. This is going to be kind of funny, especially since you've met her. But what you just said kind of reminds me of my mom. Because my mom used to go to orgies and she used to go and have sex with the ugliest people at the orgies because she felt bad for them. Oh no. And she would call herself like this goddess of love. And she had this idea that like it was her duty to like give love to people and like that like be generous with her love. Yeah. And I think it was also kind of a narcissistic thing where it was just like she felt like she was like gifting you. Oh, I'm going to give you this great gift of me.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever had like the full like I will bestow myself upon the but
which is 100% I think how my mother felt.
But I think on like on a lighter level, it's probably like the same thing where it was like, oh no, like this is something that I was always meant to share, not in the literal hands-on way that I was trying at first.
Yes, yeah. So now you're sharing it with the world just in a different way.
Yes.
Got it. Now, of course, and when you entered the industry, you know you're a lesbian, you're aware of your sexuality, and you choose to work only with women, which isn't always the case with lesbians. There's a lot of girls that I know that come into the industry that are only interested in women, but they work with men because they feel like, you know, if they don't work with men, they won't get work, they won't get jobs. So did you find it difficult to come into the industry with a girl only objective? And have you found it hard to stick to that?
It was scarier, and I think it is still a slower start. Like I think that a performer who was doing guys, who was hitting the same milestones that I'm at right now, would probably be making a lot more money than me. Like it is a slower on-ramp, and it has to be like, that's where having the support from my family has been really key. And like, I know that I can stick to my guns because they see this as a legitimate career that takes time to build up with. But I knew that for me personally, it was more than just like, I'm not really that into this thing. I knew that like, I feel bad after I have sex with guys.
Yeah.
And so like, not all lesbians feel that way. Some people, it's just like, not my thing, but I can do it for the camera and I don't mind, which is just as valid. But that wasn't me. And so I knew that I wanted to have a long career, and I knew that that would mean a slower career in some ways. Mainly slower financially because I've been able to move fast in what's seen publicly in a lot of ways. But yeah, I think the other thing too is I realized that, I have to really lean into my independent content because there are only so many bookings that are girl. But at the same time, the girl fan base is super loyal and they are hungry for more content. And all these girl sites, a lot of them are getting like less and less frequent with their postings. So there is, at the same time that there's less work, there's also a bigger void. So I think that the fact that I'm so unambiguously lesbian, that I don't try to pretend to like guys, I think that helps me, because they know that they're getting the real experience. I think that it would be really hard to be a girl only gay for pay performer right now. I think that the only reason it's sustainable for me is because of how into women I am.
Yeah, because you're right. There are a ton of girl only performers, or at least maybe not so many now. But back in the day, there was more because it was more taboo to do boy-girl back then than it is now. But they were because they had a boyfriend who didn't want them to do guys.
Yeah.
And so they would only do girl because that was acceptable to their boyfriend, or they thought that it would not limit their dating possibilities as much.
Yeah.
So that was super common. But they did not like girls.
Yeah.
They only did that because, well, these are the sex scenes I can do and still date guys.
Yeah. I think that that's also another thing that I had to get over or the hump of as a performer when it came to studios seeing me and they see girl only. They don't know that that's because I'm a flaming lesbian. They might think that it's because I'm trying to do the thing that's the least stigmatized. And that shows up really differently on camera.
Yeah.
So I think that I had to make a name for myself about who I am in order to get that respect from studios to take their chances on me and know that I wasn't limiting myself in a way that was just phoning it in.
Have you worked with any girls that are quote unquote gay for pay? And how do you manage that?
Because I also have shot like with a lot of new girls. A lot of times it's not that different because they're just nervous either way.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that they've commented on it being a positive experience, mainly because I'm friendly and attentive. I think it's harder to do straight for pay than gay for pay as a woman. Even straight women are like, oh, but I wish I liked women. They're so soft and they smell good. And like you never hear a lesbian talk that way about men. I mean, I think I've worked with performers who maybe they have a ton of fun having sex with women as a thing for fun, but they don't necessarily view it as erotic necessarily as I do. They don't have like that same degree of connection, but it's enough for them to have a great time. So that can be good. Obviously, my preference is to work with queer women. And when I work with fully straight girls, I just let them know like, hey, I want you to have the best experience that you can, whether that means you are having a blast here or you just know that we're getting something really great that you can be proud of. That is really just with studio. I do make sure that with anything that I'm shooting myself, the women like women.
Are there any misconceptions about lesbian sexuality in adult films that you've encountered and you want to clear up? Like, for example, you once joked on X about people doubting lesbians even enjoy penetration. Yeah. And you said, heaven forbid a girl who's not into dick actually have a G-spot.
Yes. Yes. So I was thinking about this the other day because it's like, I'm very sensitive everywhere. And like my clit can get fried if it's overstimulated. So, and I can get off from penetration, but I'm like, damn, if I could like donate this to a straight woman who doesn't feel anything for it, I would do that for her. But
I am a straight woman who doesn't feel anything from penetration.
If I
That's
could,
me.
Yeah, if I could give you that, if I could bestow that, I would happily donate it because it's not as necessary. I've noticed that in porn, the fetishization around lesbian sex is less that like, oh my God, it's two girls. It's this idea that it's always soft and it's always sweet and it's always just tender kissing, that every time two women have sex, they're making love. And I love doing that. But I also like having rough sex. I like having kinky sex. I have it. One of my scenes is titled Spanked, Strapped, and Zapped. And I like doing all of those things. And I think that there's a misconception that sex has to involve dick in order to be rough, or that sex has to involve men in order to be rough and enjoyable. And I think that affects all women, because if we're implying that lesbians only have this tender sex and that they don't enjoy anything that's outside of that box, anything that's more intense, then that kind of implies that the only reason that straight women or bi women are doing it is because of its association with men. So then it's like, okay, then do they even like this? Then does it even matter whether they want this? So I think that it is it's a chain of assumptions that can be made that I think affects everyone down the line. So yeah, I think it's important to show that like, oh no, sexuality between two women where it's just women is just as multifaceted as it is with men.
Do you know who Ashley Blue is in her series Girlvert?
I think it sounds familiar.
So she was, it's funny because I just had Johnny Darko, her ex, on last week. She did like crazy hardcore girl stuff, like destroying, like maybe a little bit too much. Yeah. But anyways, you should look it up. She was very famous for doing some really gnarly girl scenes. Yeah. So yeah, you want rough girl, that girl. Yeah. Ashley started that.
Yeah. And I still like the soft and sweet. I think everyone likes the soft and sweet, but that doesn't mean that it has to be the only thing, or that it should be the only thing.
Right. Women are multifaceted just as much as men are.
Exactly.
Now, with Little Puck, you actually shot your birthday orgy.
Yes.
Right? So tell us about that, because that was quite a feat to pull off.
Yes. So that was Little Puck. That was Jules, Gracie Snow, Luna Lux, Danny Sinclair. I said those in an order. I don't usually say them. Puck, Jules, Luna, Danny, Gracie. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 6-girl orgy with a lot of my favorite women that I've gotten to work with so far. The initial scene with Luna and Puck actually isn't out yet. It's a Halloween one. So get ready for that.
Cool.
But I was stunned looking at the roster that I had for that just 6 months into the industry.
Because it was for your birthday, right? The idea was like they were all like, they were your birthday present.
Yeah. So it was like both my 6-month porniversary and my birthday. And we like, I got to have the sort of creative direction with it. It was just very like lesbian Polly Pocket kind of vibe for the aesthetic. And then, I make my little birthday wish on my cupcake. Everyone comes around me. We start kissing. I'm wearing roller skates. I get strapped with the roller skates still on.
Was that tricky at any particular moment? Because
it was a brief thing. It was like I got to do, like, I'm a roller skater. I like strap. For my birthday, I gotta get roller skated, or I gotta get strapped with roller skates on.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't like the easiest feat in the world. I think that I could probably train at it and get better at it. But it was fun and it was worth it for the scene. That actually ended up being one of the more tame parts of it. It got like very feral.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when you have a bunch of genuinely queer women.
Yeah.
It can be soft and sweet, but it's not always.
Shit gets out of control.
Yeah.
Have you felt any pressure from like fans, agents, or studios to eventually do boy-girl scenes, or have people been pretty respectful of that?
I have felt absolutely no pressure from studios or from my agent. I got the door slammed in front of my face from a few people when I mentioned that I was girl only. But within the industry, I've never had any pressure to do it. There have been some, I say fans even lightly, because I think that if you're trying to pressure me to do something that's out of my boundaries, then you're not really a fan of me, even if you do enjoy my content. Again, the girl community is very strong and very loyal. So pretty early on with that, like I remember even when I had like 100 followers on Twitter, someone would be like, oh, do like insert super intense boy-girl scene here. And then they would get like bombarded with, she's gay. So I've been requested to. I've never felt pressure to. And I never will, really. I think I'm too old to be pressured.
Speaking of fans, do you have a memorable or strange fan interaction, or any comments that made you laugh out loud, or even anything that's been particularly touching?
One of the comments that I got that was really touching from a fan was about how, like, yeah, like, you're hot, like, whatever, but, like, he was talking about my skill and the effort that I put into what I do and my genuine connection. And I saw that, like, he really appreciated me as a performer and for my craft. And I think that my most loyal fans tend to fall into that camp where some of them like that I'm girl only. Some of them don't really care as long as they know that I'm making projects that I'm passionate about and putting a lot of effort into. And it's just been really heartening to see that so many of my fans really just are invested in my creativity and me having a great time.
Unfortunately, the internet also comes with negativity, as we all know. We call them trolls. So now that you're in the public eye and your Instagram has grown significantly, how many followers do you have now?
On Instagram, I think like 260.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Yeah,
especially for being. I mean, you've been in the industry like 7 months. Yeah. How do you manage negative comments? Do you let it get to you? Do you not read the comments? Do you block people? Like, how do you manage that?
I don't really look at my Instagram comments unless they're like, I don't even really get the notifications for Instagram comments unless it's like from people that I'm following back. So that makes it pretty easy. Instagram, I'm also really tame. So I think there's a decent chunk of people on there who think that I'm just an LGBT mainstream model influencer. So I've generally been lucky about that. Like I get like the weird comment here and there, but like it doesn't really faze me. The main thing that has bothered me isn't really even about comments that I get, but it's comments that other women that I know very hands-on, that they are genuinely sapphic.
Yeah.
Being told, oh, you're not even gay. You only talk about boys, blah, 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 blah. And having their sexualities invalidated, that pisses me off to see.
Yeah.
Apparently someone said something on like my subreddit that I'm a fake lesbian, but that's just like so laughable to me.
Yeah.
But when it happens to other people, that's when I get more ticked than anything else.
So you are also somebody who, unlike myself, actually has hobbies. So tell us about your hobbies and what are you really passionate about?
Yeah, so I love to roller skate, as I kind of alluded to. I mainly like to do like big, long distance skates, like outdoors. So I have my headphones in, music blasting, just going along the beach, and it feels like I'm flying. It's the most magical feeling ever. I paint, I sculpt here and there. I love to swim, love to be in any sort of body of water. I got fitted for a wig cap today, and it like reminded me of the feeling of the swim cap. I'm like, oh, I need to get back into that. But yeah, like to hike, like to try new vegan restaurants, work with new art mediums.
So Ophelia made me a painting for my birthday, and I hung it in my bathroom, by the way.
Oh my God, yay!
I took down, I replaced an old photo of me that was taken when I was like 18, when I was at Brooks Institute of Photography, and someone shot me for one of their projects. So I took down a photo of myself to put up the painting that you... Oh my
God, I'm so honored.
Yeah, well, it looks a lot better in my bathroom than this fucking... my husband was like, oh, you finally took down that fucking picture of yourself. I was like, yeah, sorry. Makes the bathroom look much lighter. What are some of your long-term ambitions in the adult industry? Do you see yourself staying purely in front of the industry, or do you have any plans branching out, doing stuff behind the camera?
I think that I will always want to have at least some portion of my career in front of the camera, because that is really deeply fulfilling to me on like a higher level. But I'm open to directing. I mean, doing your own self-produced stuff, everyone's kind of a director.
That's true.
I've had a few moments here and there where I'm setting stuff up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a director. Obviously don't know nearly as much as actual directors, but I want to do a little bit of everything. Yeah. Like I'm open to anything that's out there. I think like being a performer will always be my core, but I don't like to be pinned down to just one thing.
What does success look like to you? Is it about winning awards, building a massive fan base, creating work you're proud of, or maybe something bigger?
I think that it's mainly about creating work that I'm proud of. I also want to break glass ceilings for what it means to be girl only. I know that there were like previous eras, 90s, early 2000s, where girl only performers were able to ascend to really high heights, and that hasn't been the case for a while. It's been treated as the entry level thing. And I want to dismantle the idea that girl only sex is entry level sex. And I want to hit all the same milestones in due time as any boy-girl performer would, just with a lady with a strap. I think that, I don't put too much pressure on myself to be like, to convey a certain message with my work. At first I tried to put that on my shoulders, and then I realized that if I'm doing stuff that I authentically think is hot and I authentically enjoy and am fulfilled creative by, that is authentic lesbian representation, more so than me trying to be the perfect mold of what lesbian representation should be.
Right.
And so, I want to share that with the world. Because like I mentioned, I think it makes a difference for all women, regardless of who you're sleeping with, to show that woman-only sex can be anything that sex with man can be.
Okay. And last question. Like so many others in our industry, you have an OnlyFans where you can create your own personal content and interact with your fans on a more personal basis. Can you tell us a little bit about what people can expect to find on there?
Yes. So I mainly girl is where my core is, of course, some solos. Now that I'm working with Soul, I kind of mentioned her earlier, some better quality solos too, because I realized I like shooting solos a lot more when I get to work with somebody, even if that somebody is a camera woman. But I love to make pretty things. That's my biggest thing. I love a good project. I, again, model sort of off of that stuff, getting the establishing shots, setting a mood. Maybe there's a bit of a script, maybe there's not. And then, I have vanilla sex, I have kinky sex, I have stuff that's the more classic girl flavor. One thing that I really want to lean into more, because I've noticed that girl versus boy girl isn't just about the gender makeup of the two people that are having sex in it. It's a stylistic thing too. So I want to basically have a mix of classical girl, boy girl where I'm the girl and the other girl's the boy, and boy girl where I'm the boy. And some of that can be about penetration, but not really. It's just about the dynamic. I mean, you of course know what I'm talking about. You've seen the difference hands-on, like even more than I have. Like,
so you're talking about kind of like a dominance, like a power.
the dominance, but even like the scene that I shot with Laura Bentley, she's arguably still the more dominant one in that. But during it was like, oh, I'm her little boy toy right now. Like I was like, oh, I'm doing a male talent role in the way that her husband's away and I'm the booty call and I get on my knees in front of her. She sits like a queen and I like eat her out. It's like a very like classic boy girl script, but like, why can't I be the boy?
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe you can be like, you can do like a pool girl thing.
Yeah.
The pizza girl.
Yeah. Oh, I really.
The plumber.
Yeah. Oh my God. I really want to do a pool girl one because I think just like you could get so many of the campy cliche shots, like fully filming me in like the objectification way that you film a man. Like it's like the ab shots, the arm, like as if I think that would be so fun.
You could do a whole series that is literally like all of the porno tropes that usually involve a man and it's just a woman.
Yeah.
That would actually be pretty.
Ladies, let me know your favorite. Me and Soul will make it happen.
All right. Well, Ophelia, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I do have some questions for you from our Patreon members, but we'll do that in a separate segment. But for now, can you tell everybody where they can find you online, please?
Yes. Let's see. So probably the easiest way to find me is through Instagram and then through the link in my bio. So that's Ophelia.Fae. I'm Ophelia_Fae on OnlyFans, just Ophelia, like Ophelia Fae with no punctuation on Loyal Fans and Hidden. Ophelia Fae 888 on Twitter. My website's OpheliaFaeXOXO.com.
And you guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Holly Randall. Of course, if you want to watch these interviews streamed live, get access to the bonus Q&As like we're about to do now, where you can send in your questions. Go to patreon.com/Holly Randall Unfiltered. Go to hollylinks.com for access to all of my platforms. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for supporting my show, and I will see you on the next one.